Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll explore how to Dockerize Spring Boot application. So we'll create one simple Spring Boot application first, and we'll see how to create the Docker file for that, and we'll Dockerize this Spring Boot application. We'll see this process in step by step. Let's get started. So first we'll create simple Spring Boot application from start.spring.io. So here my Spring Boot version 3.3, and here I'm creating group ID tech and artifact ID Spring Docker, and we'll add dependencies. So here we are creating simple application, so I'm added web, and one more I will add Lambda. We'll go with simple application, and our goal is to Dockerize our Spring Boot applications. Okay, now we can generate this project. So project is generated. Now we'll import this project into IntelliJ IDE. Yeah, I have imported project into IntelliJ IDE. If you see the pom.xml file, I have only web now and Lambda also there. Now we'll create Dockerfile for this. So before creating the Dockerfile, first we'll create one controller, and that controller will add one endpoint to test our application. So first you can create controller package, and inside the controller we'll create one controller class. We'll create like a hello controller. So this is the controller class. Annotation rest controller and annotation request mapping. Now we'll add one get API inside this class, public string get message. So it will return welcome to Spring Boot Docker. Okay, so this is normal get API. You can use annotation get mapping. So this is the controller. I have created only one endpoint, that is /API, and it will return welcome to Spring Boot container. So here I am not creating any service, any repositories, just we can try with one simple flow. With this you will get to know how this Docker flow will work and how to Dockerize our Spring Boot application. Okay, so now we need to create our Docker file in the class path. So you can right click new, you can click the file. Now you can give Docker file. For this, don't specify any extension, just you can click Docker file only. Okay, so it should be it should be a class path. So see, now it is a class path. This is our Docker file. So what are the steps here following the Docker file? First step, you need to pull the JDK, and after that we need to find the working directory. Then you can move to the jar file to the working directory. Then you can expose to the port number. Then you can run this jar file using java-jar. Those are the steps we need to follow inside the Docker file. Yeah, if you see, it is JDK 17, and after that this is the working directory. Then I'm copying this jar to this target to this, and I'm exposing 8080. Already I'm using other service, so java-jar app.jar. Okay, so here, so what is this our application name we need to give? So if you go with the pom.xml file, it is outside the plugins, we need to use the final name, so it will generate jar with this name. Now here build is success. Now we need to go to the Dockerfile path, then we'll run this Dockerfile. So our Dockerfile is there, w spring boot 3 and spring docker. So we need to go to this. So here if you see, this is my Dockerfile. Now you need to run docker build, docker build -t. Image name we need to give spring -docker. This is there in this current directory. Okay, so now it is starting building docker. So there is a issue, .jar, it should be single .jar. So just you can correct this one, and again we'll rebuild this. Once build is done, again we need to do the docker build. Yeah, this build is success. Now we'll do it from this command prompt using docker build -t spring -docker. So first it will pull the image like JDK17 dependency. After that it will copy the jar, then it will expose the port number 9898. After that it should run the jar file. So first, once build is done, we'll do it docker run command. Still it is downloading. It will take 2 to 3 minutes based on the internet connectivity. Okay, now it is done. Now you can run this docker command, docker run -. The command we need to use docker run -p 9898 spring -docker. Why I'm not giving 8080? Because 8080 is already running other services in my system, so I'm using 9898. You can use 8080 also. So once it is started, now you can see the Docker desktop. So here is our new container 9898. This is the port number. So there is one container. If you come to the image also, spring -docker in use. Okay, so you are able to see these containers in the Docker desktop. Let's quickly check, is this come? Yeah, now it is see. So if you see 9898, why it is not coming? If you see this logs, this Tomcat server is showing 8080. So we are missed to specify 9898 server port number in the Spring Boot application. Come to that application properties. Here you can mention. Okay, we'll rebuild this one more time because we did some changes in the application properties. We'll try to rebuild this. After that, we'll build from the Docker and we'll again rerun from the Docker, because these changes is not reflected here. It is showing still 8080 only. You can stop this. It stopped. Now build success. Now yes, we can do the Docker build. Once Docker build is done, now it will won't take that much time because already that Docker container is there, right? So it will won't download again. So Docker build -t spring -docker image. Okay, Docker build already done. We need to use Docker run. So if you perform this Docker run and we'll observe this port number, see now it is showing 9898. So just you need to remember while giving the port number, so whatever the port number you are giving from this Docker file, this port number you need to link with this application.port number. Okay, so then only it will show here 9898 now, right? So now you can test this application. So localhost 9898/API. See, now we are getting the response from our Spring Boot application. Now our Spring Boot application is Dockerized. Okay, so like this you can deploy Spring Boot into Docker container. I hope this video is helpful for you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.